This wasn't the season finale I was hoping for. Yo folks, what's up? Your man Al is here with Dark Gathering episode 25 review, so let's go. At first we see Ai call Keitaro, expressing distress and blaming herself for the train accident. Keitaro reminds her of their earlier conversation about her unlucky nature, assuring her it's not her fault. He suggests that spending time with him, Eiko, and Yayoi will help her feel better, and mentions that everyone is concerned about her. After the call, Ai sends him information about the hospital where she is. This part once again shows just how isolated and lonely Ai feels due to that spirit always haunting her, and her relatives acting as if she is a bad omen. We see Keitaro go back to Eiko's house to update Yayoi and Eiko. He finds out about the incident at Yayoi's school involving temporary collaboration with body snatchers. At the same time, he questions Eiko about the installation of spy cameras. Eiko explains that it's to identify potential body snatchers. Despite the tense situation, Yayoi expresses readiness for their upcoming Kyoto trip and reminds them of their objectives, to visit Ai and confront her god spirit. This bit was quite wholesome and funny, however I would have liked it more if they didn't use the trope of making Keitaro appear as dense. Next we see Yayoi recount her actions in battling another godly spirit, emphasizing the superior capabilities of Ai's god. She shares a strategic plan with Keitaro and Eiko to increase their chances of defeating it. Yayoi proposes placing 5 out of their 7 graduates in specific haunted locations to form a pentagram known as the Bellflower of Blasphemy. This pentagram is intended to weaken Ai's god spirit, enabling Yayoi's powerful graduates, Martyr and Oirin, to further weaken it. After retrieving the initial 5 graduates, all 7 will combine their powers to defeat Ai's god spirit. To safeguard Kyoto's residents from the curse of the pentagram, Yayoi plans to create 2 substitutes, one for the city and one for Ai's god spirit. This approach aims to redirect any potential damage the city might sustain to Ai's god spirit. Central to the plan is the transformation of Ai's god spirit into a substitute, achieved by marking its flesh with a symbol devised by Yayoi. The whole plan being explained with such details is making me think that it's gonna fail horribly, but I'm still glad that Yayoi came up with something rather than going in completely blind. Several visuals illustrate the detailed plan, leaving Keitaro astonished at its thoroughness. Keitaro collaborates with Yayoi to create a precise schedule for the plan's execution. Yayoi then asks Eiko and Keitaro if they are willing to participate, giving them time to consider. She instructs them to visit her the next morning if they decide to proceed. At Eiko's house, Yayoi views the ghost Eiko had imprisoned earlier and commends her efforts. Eiko reveals a closet filled with substitutes she produced using her 3D printer, highlighting their advantages for the mission. Yayoi expresses admiration for Eiko's contributions, and the scene shifts to Keitaro reflecting on the perilous journey ahead. It was nice to see Yayoi give another chance to Eiko and Keitaro to reconsider things, because it shows how much she cares about them. Also, the interaction between Yayoi and Eiko was hilarious. Moving on, we see that in the hospital Ai eagerly anticipates reuniting with her friends and envisions a wedding scenario. In her dream, she encounters her aunt and mother, questioning their presence before the surroundings darken, leading Ai into an eerie setting. Ghostly paper entities torment her, compelling her to wear a white garment. Despite calling out to her friends, she feels a disturbing transformation happening. Eventually, her god spirit appears, stating that it's almost time. Ai awakens from this nightmarish experience in tears. I don't know whether the spirit was trying to scare Ai or mock her, but it was honestly sad to see her suffer like that. Then we see that in the morning Keitaro brings his grandmother's lucky charms to Eiko's house. Together, they go somewhere, and Keitaro presents his graduate deployment kit project, designed for remote release and sealing of their graduates. Yayoi expresses gratitude for Keitaro's invention, and the trio collaborates on preparations for the Bellflower of Blasphemy plan. As part of the plan, they visit the graduate dorm and set a trap for Dorothy and the other body snatchers. I can't express how glad I was to see Keitaro being very straightforward for once rather than being a wuss like always. Next we see Oswald and Nankobo talk about Yayoi's connection to Dorothy and her possession of the cursed left arm. Dorothy overhears their conversation and enters the scene. Oswald reassures her that their interest is solely in the arm. Nankobo mentions that the specter of death is still growing but lacks sufficient strength. Oswald departs to visit the specter of death with Dorothy, and Nankobo cautions them to be cautious. Yayoi informs the audience that they have completed the camera setup and are prepared to proceed with the next phase of their plan. If Oswald is Dorothy's brother, then that kinda implies that he is also a spirit, so maybe he is seeking revenge over humanity, and SS Oswald raising the specter of death makes a bit more sense to me now. At the end we see that on their way to Kyoto, Eiko suggests to Yayoi the idea of visiting the train scene. Keitaro agrees, thinking it could provide insights into the incident. However, Yayoi declines, prioritizing her focus on Ai. The key participants prepare for the impending battle. I will be honest, I was expecting a more conclusive ending rather than a setup of what's gonna happen next, because we have no idea if we will ever get a continuation of the anime or not. Overall, Dark Gathering has earned a special place in my heart because it's the first anime that I have reviewed week by week for 6 whole months, so I have grown attached to it and I'm gonna miss it. Not to mention, it was a very enjoyable show with a solid mixture of horror, thrill, drama, and comedy, with some very unique characters. By the way, we might get a Season 2 announcement soon given how this episode set things up, and how well received the anime has been. Anyways, thanks for watching everyone. If you like my video, then check out some of my other videos. Also, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, or leave a comment if you want to say something. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, or check out my Facebook page. Links are given in the description. Until then, see ya.